Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching. This is Jared and Braxton from 3C's Recreation. And today what we're gonna do is a carb clean on Braxton's 200. This is a 2026 200 race edition. He just raced this last weekend in a complete mud fest. But before the race even started, we're sitting on the starting line and the bike's dumping gas onto the ground. It's a horrible feeling. Round number one, we're sitting there, super excited about the whole summer, and then we're sitting there round one. Bike was fine in the garage for weeks. But what the common denominator with this bike was, so this video is going to be about a carb clean, but let's explain to you what I think might have happened. So if we come down here, you can back up a little bit, Brax. This is the gas tank this was on Braxton's 125 that was also leaking gas in Alabama at the GNCC. So, and I should have done this earlier, this is partly the mechanic here not doing a better job, is the fuel petcock inside of here. I can see the top of it is broken. And some debris, we always get stuff in the gas tanks. It's just part of what we do. I'll put a clip in here right now. Braxton's pit stop this weekend, a complete mud fest. There's almost no way not to get dirt in there. It's just part of it. So we need to do better putting a screen on here. So I've got a clean bin. We had nails in it, so it's kind of dirty in the bottom, but hopefully we can still see. I think there's a little bit of debris in here, and I hope all of this gas fits into this. So we got really lucky at the race. Braxton thankfully was able to finish the race, no issues. Once the bike was running, it wasn't leaking as bad. Now this can was on his 125, and I'm kind of listening for like the rest of the fuel petcock because I feel like part of it's missing, and I'm going to unscrew it off the tank and show you that in a minute. So look down in the, can you turn the gimbal, Braxton, so it'll like look down in there by chance? Look at all that debris inside of there. So that is definitely on us. That's our fault. My fault for not doing better. So that's what caused the leak. I also took his gas can today. I totally cleaned it, disassembled the whole thing, 100% cleaned that out. So gas can is clean. What we're gonna do to fix this problem moving forward, and Mr. Bill suggested this, and I should have been doing it sooner, is an inline fuel filter. This little guy is gonna sit right in the gas line between the gas tank and where it goes into the carb. So let's cut there for a minute. Okay, so just to give you a preview of Braxton's air filter, it actually made out pretty good for the abuse and the amount of mud that it went through. Now when I was washing the bike, I've got the wash cover in there, and I'll show that more in a minute, but I was pretty aggressive with the steam cleaner. So there's probably more, there could be more debris in the carb now than before, because I think it was muddy. You gotta kind of fight that out, and then if we keep going here, you can see there's normally another screen and stuff on top here. It's completely gone. This tank's been built for a couple years, so I have no idea where that went. And you can see, look at all that stuff down in there. Can you, we'll zoom in on that. Look at all that debris right there, even on the outside of that screen trying to get in. So we need to do a little bit better job. Let's clean everything up, and we'll show you the carb. Now that we learned about the gas tank, fuel petcock's out, let's just show you how the gas tank comes off. So we have our fuel line first. It's just two clamps. You just undo your clamps. You have a middle bolt in the back, and you have one bolt on each side for the shrouds, and then you've got your vent tube wherever you've got that hooked into, and the gas tank will come completely off. That's gonna help us expose this carburetor. Now for me, pressure washing, I made a plug for the carburetor side. I just take a bolt and a piece of fuel hose. That way when I'm pressure washing this thing, nothing's getting inside of there. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove this guard. I like to get that out of the way because I like to try to do this without removing the subframe. And I've done his 125 enough times that I haven't had to remove it. One tech tip for you guys at home, if you guys have a Beta 200, I put a longer bolt in right here. Not long enough on the threads, and I put a longer one in. It's got another like 1/4 of an inch, and it grabs a lot more threads. So that's just for you guys at home. A little tech tip by us here at 3C's. And then the back half of that is just another 8mm, but it's into the frame back here. So it's hard to kind of tell what I'm doing, but there's a bolt right here that's holding that guard to the frame. So I'm just gonna, I got my ratchet wrench, they work really good. Get it loose, chain guide's out of the way, and then now I can get to this engine case bolt that has that guard on it that helps hold all those coolant hose lines. So let me just sneak in there real quick. This is my last real thing other than just getting the carb out. So it's super simple. Unlooped the guard off the hoses. I grabbed the 2 longest screwdrivers apparently in the drawer. There's the Phillips, and then here's the regular. And then I'm going to grab a 3mm hex head, and we're going to get the carb slide off now because the slide can stay on the bike. We don't need that. And get this out of the way, tip it down. And just trying to find that. There it goes. So I can break these loose. Now, we don't have the TPS on this bike. You can see this red anodized plug on the back side of the carburetor here. And so if you had the TPS sensor, you would just have to unplug that from the harness. The plug would be in this area somewhere up here. So when we do the race harness, this bike's super slimmed down. There's hardly any wires on this bike. We lose the TPS sensor. That's just there for oil injection. So both of those are loose. I can just kind of pull this up and out of the way. So there's our carb. There's our carb slide. So it's out, easy. And now we can get that carburetor out. I'm going to tuck it over here, but I wanted to show it to you guys first. So now we've got clamp loose, and we're going to pull that carb right out. So now I got everything loose. What I like to do, and this is kind of hard because it's on a roller stand, but I'm pulling back. I'm just rocking it this way. Actually, the bike didn't even roll on the roller stand. So look at that. So, oh, I have one zip tie. That's me back here. I've got the starter wire. So let me cut it. Let me grab that with a zip tie cutter quick. All right, so we just got the carb off. Actually, I had to pause the video thanks to Austin. He just bought a Beta 450 RX. So thanks for that. I cleaned this bucket out, by the way. So the problem is that was on the starting line. Braxton raced the bike. Oh, look at all that stuff in there. Is that bubbles? Or what? Holy smokes. Do you see like all the, I don't know what that is. Do you see these like different, it's like water, because water, you know, gas or oil or something is weird in there. And look at all that debris. Put it down in that corner. See all that debris in there? So all of that came out of the stinking car, Brax. Did the bike run okay during the race? Yeah, he's shaking his head yes. And I mean, I had the carb super clean, so I don't think any of it was really like the bottom of the float bowl. You can see how clean the carb is. So okay, so now that that's done, let's crack the bottom of this thing loose here. So what we're gonna do is sometimes these don't like to come off. This bike is pretty new, so there's one. If it at all feels like it's starting to round, do not continue to. There's 3. And then the 4th one. Good deal. Okay, so everything else looks pretty clean in there. So nothing else on the bottom. It's all pretty clean inside that float bowl. And then now we can take the whole, get this right out of here. So I'm tapping on the float. You can see this pin is coming down here. That was just the screw out of the holder there. But you can see as I tap this, see that pin's coming out. Now I can just actually grab it, pull it down. This is what I was trying to do on the starting line, or what I really wanted to do. And hopefully, I'm kind of giving you guys a better view. Hopefully that looks, I mean, the carb looks pretty good there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a screwdriver, and we're going to get that pilot jet out, and we're going to unscrew that main jet. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that pilot jet out of the bottom. I like to pull these out and clean them. We have not had the carb off this 200 yet. We built this whole thing, but we didn't take the carb actually off the bike, and I guess you guys can see, you can't really see through it. And I don't think it's because it's plugged, it's just because it's got gas in it. And then now I'm gonna let you guys look first. Oh, that's almost impossible. Okay, so I can see perfectly through it. So pilot jet's okay. And then let's take this main jet out here as well. what I learned last week, we were at the GNCC in Kentucky and I broke a pilot jet off in Caleb's new Carb. Well, it was a used bike, but I broke a jet off in there. And again, you can't see through there on film. I'm gonna say this on film so I have it for record. It's a 160 main. So I'm gonna wonder later what's in your bike. 160 and a 45 pilot. So if you guys have a 2026 Beta 200, that's what came in stock in the bike. And then now what I'm gonna do is, just because we're doing a full carb cleaning video, I'm gonna pull the choke plunger off. Braxton's bike is pretty new, so it doesn't technically need this, but it's just a 14 mil. And then you can kind of see there's dirt around the base of his. So for most customers though, the dirt is in the actual plunger because it's got the secondary passageway here, and that's what this thing is blocking off, right? And that's where dirt would build up inside of there. You'd look down inside of where the choke goes and it'd be full of dirt. So what I'm gonna do now is blow all this off, and I like to hold the vent tubes because otherwise they'll run wild, because certain spots, like if we were to blow in, I'll give you guys light here, and like this one or this one, it's gonna make these tubes dance because that's where the air is going. So we'll do those first. That was that one, you can tell it was moving. Can't quite get on top of that one as much as I want. And then now we're gonna do right down in where the main jet would come in. And the pilot jet. Something just blew around. So I'm just kind of looking down in there. Sorry, needle seat, main jet, pilot jet. And then we're going to blow through the choke. We're going to blow through the choke up here. We're going to blow where the gas comes in. Oh, we're making a mess on our table. And then we can kind of clean this out. You can kind of see in there. And let's see, what do we got on this side? Let's blow these two passages out as well. This is the remainder of the choke on the back side. And then, okay, so I just like to take my time with that. I like to make sure we do it right because we're doing it, because we're loading up to drive somewhere across the country. I just want the bike to work. So that's pretty much everything. Like I said, his choke plunger didn't need to come off, but I just wanted to show it on the video. So what I'll start with first is just that. So we'll throw it back in here. Main jet, make sure we're perfect. Go back in its spot here. And we're gonna make sure we don't tighten it too much here. Get our 6 wherever that blew off to. We're not gonna kill it, we're just gonna tighten it. Okay, tight. Pilot jet one more time, look through it. It's a 45. I've been jetting his 125 a lot lately, and that's about what we have in that. But we have like what's funny is we have a 172 main jet in his 125, and this is a 60. It's a bigger motor, smaller main jet. Interesting. And then this all looked really good. Brand new bike, you know. Shouldn't be much of a problem, but starting line we had one. So we're gonna just set this right back down, and it's trying to rearrange so I can show you guys on film here. So we're gonna set this right down in its hole, right there. And our needle blew over here. I'm gonna slide that right back in. And we're gonna, okay, and then this is where you hold the carburetor at an angle about like this. And you kind of want the float to be level with the carb. So if it was like this, that wouldn't be any good. And if the float was like this, that's not any good either. So that's just kind of helping us set the float height for the needle. And everything's working pretty good there. And we're gonna go ahead, and I'm gonna blow this out. We're gonna pause, I'll blow this out real quick. The bowl cleaned out pretty good. And we literally just kind of like slide it right down in. Super easy. So it's kind of got a pocket that this is gonna stick down in. Not all carburetors are quite that pretty, I'll tell you that much. That one went together super easy. I think it's Braxton's 85 carburetors. Those things You can never get the float bowl to go back on without feeling like you're hurting something. So, and then get the cap back on. So I think this is where we're going to end the video because the carb is done, it's clean, we blew it all out, everything went back together really well. We're not going to run that same gas out of that tank, we're going to flush it, put new gas in up there. But what I'm going to do further down the line is we're going to make sure his air boot is clean from the air filter to the carb. In it, there's nothing in there now, but I'm going to take some starting fluid and a rag. We're really going to clean this out really well. Then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull his rad valve out completely out of the bike. Look at the rad valve, make sure no dirt is down in here on this side of it. There shouldn't be anything, but we just want to make sure, right? We're doing all this work to go to the next race. I'm going to take a little more time. I'm going to take it apart the rest of the way. Then I'll get that carb put back in. But for you guys in reverse process, you basically set the carb in, tighten your clamps down, put your carb slide back in, and then rebuild your chain guide here and then put your gas tank back on. So Jared and Braxton from 3Cs. If you guys are buying your beta parts on betausa.com, if you don't mind choosing 3Cs Recreation as your dealer, it doesn't cost you anymore, but we get a small portion of those sales. We get a kickback on every order, a little commission, and it really helps us make these videos and get to the races. So thanks for all the support so far. You've helped us become the biggest beta dealer in the country. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the ride. See you on the trail.